Hi gang, welcome back to the Unraised Latina Ever. Today's topic is about taking trips and enjoying the ride. I'm the type of person that I don't enjoy the rides. I get very impatient with things. For example, you know, when I was a kid, I had ADHD and I would kick the seat as my dad would drive. And he would actually say to me, if I have to stop this car, I'm going to pull you out of that back seat and I'm going to beat the living daylights out of you. But don't stop it. And I'm like, Dad, I'm bored, you know, are we there yet? And are we there yet? And no, we're not there, you know. And he would get really mad at me because I would be very impatient. And so I would be sitting there praying to God, you know, that we would get there, you know, soon, because I just like would have all this energy and I just wanted to like explode, you know. And so that's how I am a lot in life. I'm learning golf, and I sometimes really think I figured everything out, and I'll hit the ball so damn good. I'm like, yeah, we can play a game now. And then the next time around, I totally miss the ball, and I whiff, and I look around to see if anybody's looking, and I'm like, that's a practice swing, you know. And I just want to be so like Condoleezza good, and I'm not, and it drives me crazy. It makes me want to just throw my clubs and everything and just have a meltdown on the fucking mat, you know. That green little mat that they have, you know. I just want to be good. And so anyway, yeah, Mr. Trump, give me a lesson. I'm sure you can show me how to hit the motherfucking ball real good. So anyway, I want to give you a lesson on immigration reform. I served on a board with Oregonians for immigration reform. The way it works is that the powerful elite don't want reform because they need their cheap labor. And they also, they really like having mansions in Miami, and then right next to it, they don't mind living next to a fucking shithole. These are the mentality of some of these people. And they like to have everything on the cheap. They're, you know, the most cheapest bastards you've ever seen. And I don't really like mean to make fun of rich people, but it's like they go to town to make their little hedges look nice and, you know, cool looking and everything. But
Topiary.
What is it?
Topiary.
Whatever that word is. What does it mean?
It means weird looking, fancy little, they make animals out of.
Yeah,
hedges.
they do the topiary thing. So anyway, like, you know, in the Republican Party, we have, not to say there's animals, but we have like token Republicans. Like every once in a while, we'll spit out a token black guy, like, you know, that doctor, Mr. Carson. And like the token Latina, you know, I really don't know like where we had those. Oh, we had Rosario Marin from the Bush administration. That was the last Latina we saw in leadership. And then we have Kimberly Guilfoyle on Fox News. You know, like they put her out there. I don't think she talks about immigration reform as much as I'd like her to. When she does talk, it's I don't know what she's talking about. Sometimes she talks about donuts and things like that, weird stuff, you know. But anyway, she's supposed to be smart, but, you know, I'm like missing it when she's with Gutfield or Gutterfield or whatever his name is. But, you know, maybe she needs to have her own show. But, yeah, Fox, like Dana Perino or whatever her name is, the one that, you know, has the dog. And, but I don't hear her.
Dana and her dog.
Dana and her dog. But, you know, we really need to have people in the Hispanic leadership, like not like what Jeb had down in Miami, where we talk about free health care and everything being equal, because the things aren't going to be equal, Jeb. You know, if that was the case, then some of the Bushes would give me some of their money and adopt this token Latina, because you know what? I don't have a mom, and neither do you, so like I need a dad, you know, one with lots of money. No, I mean it. Like seriously, like if you really were into this equal fair shit, like you would like make it D. Velez Bush, and then just like give me some money, gimme, right? Wouldn't that be how it worked? You know, we want to be fair because we have more than enough money, and we could take on and adopt a little Latina girl, you know, at age 53. No, but you know what? It's not always going to be about fairness, Jeb, because life isn't always fair. So some people get the short end of the stick, so that's why they come to this country, so they can get the even shorter end of the stick and become a fruit picker. Because that's the most funnest job in the whole fucking world. Not, you know, I did it for a few hours just because I didn't want the illegal aliens to have to work any longer to make my jam. So when I was living on the farm as engaged to a state senator, he was a real creep, I would pick with the Mexicans, and then we would I would bring my fruit home, and then they'd take their fruit to the whatever, and then our fruit, I think, probably went overseas, you know, because that's what we do, and then we import our shitty berries into our markets from Colombia and all of Venezuela, and you know, the ones that we got rid of, banned the pesticides here so we could, you know, ingest all that poisons and stuff like that so we can kill the American people off. Why the global elite get our good fruit, and then our fruit guys or our farmers, they get pretty damn good, and they like that, you know, because their families, and then they run for governor or senator or whatever. That's why they run for political office, so they can you know, get subsidies for their family farms to keep afloat, you know, get some kickbacks on that too.
Buy more Roundup.
Buy more Roundup.
Keep the weeds under control.
Well, you know, keep the Mexicans under control too, because they all, like, you know, spray stuff without the face guards. You know what, actually the Mexicans are getting smarter. The farmer that I was engaged to would be like hanging off the machine, spraying the Roundup and everything, and then, you know, you see the Mexicans with their little faces covered up and everything, and he's just like dangling off the tractor with no guard gear, smoking a cigarette while he's spraying the Roundup, you know. It's like, no wonder he didn't just light up and go on fire, which I kind of wished he did, but he didn't, damn it. But anyway, the real stories out there by the real people really don't get told, and the reason why they don't get told, it's not because of God. God has nothing to do with why our stories don't get told. I think it's people on earth who play God. It's the God complex, and we have them out there, and they make very good money just being shitheads. Like, for example, everybody says, oh God, that Mitt Romney, he has the utmost moral character and fiber, but that Trump does it. I mean, Mitt Romney would sell his grandmother if it meant, like, you know, some more revenue for his family's empire, you know. He would be like, here, you can have grandma. I'll give you her. I just want to be senator. You know, that's just how Mitt Romney is. He would sell his grandmother to be state senator. He would, you know, he'd so take Grandma Romney, or here, have one of my kids. I have lots of them, you know. Oh, I'm for the border to be closed. No, I'm for the border to be open. I'm for abortion. I am pro-life, you know. Like, this guy flip-flops more than, you know, more than a set of flip-flops. You know? It's like, you know, they say he's wooden and he's fake. Well, you know, yeah, I mean, and, you know, I don't mean to make fun of you, Mitt, you know, yeah, I do. You know, the best wooden picture I ever got of Mitt was when he actually had a Woody, and I have it, media, if you want it. He coming off the bus, and I zoomed in on my camera, and I just, long and behold, I didn't catch it right away. It was Stacey Kennedy that saw it. She's like, gee, Mitt Romney has a boner. And I'm like, I bet he was really glad to see me that day, leaning over with my boobs hanging out of my dress. And his wife wasn't very happy with that. But, you know, we need to have more Latinas in the world telling it like it is. You know why? Because everything is so freaking boring. It's like that ride, you know, and you're trying to entertain yourself, and you're driving down the road, and you're asking, are we there yet? And, you know, it's like when you're listening to the news and stuff like that, especially Fox News, you know, you have gut feel, and you have, like, that big, I don't even know what you want to call him, the guy with all the tattoos. that guy, what's his name? Tyrus. Yeah, you have Tyrus, and I don't really know what his purpose is. It's like every once in a while, like, they'll ask him a question, and he'll try to sound intelligent, but he's really not. And he's just like, he's like an object. It's like, you know, it's like Jabba the Hutt, you know, is to Star Wars. That's what he is to Gutfield. And then you got, you know, you're pretty, I don't even think Kimberly's on there, that one. That's the blonde. They have the blonde girl. I'm getting her mixed up. Who's the blonde on there? Cat, yeah. You got your little brainy Miss Cat, who, like, is kind of air brainy and brainy mixed together, kind of like me, and she's pretty funny. But they don't really make her very relevant. They kind of, like, you know, Greg kind of uses her as a you know, to make a joke or whatever, because he's like that. And then there's one more person, I can't even remember who it was. Or maybe they, like, interchange the people. But anyway, that just makes me like feel like I've been in Texas or Mississippi. I've lost a few like IQ points whenever I watch that. It's like, oh, okay, is this supposed to be like Republican comedy? Because, you know, I'm getting more funny off of Laura Ingraham in the evening when she does the news. Like, she's funny. I mean, really funny. And like, she's not even trying to be funny. I mean, she's just very truthful and funny, like Trump funny. Laura Ingraham is Trump funny, you know, and that's a new expression. Like, you know, when you're really funny, you're Trump funny. But if you're trying to be funny and you're coming out kind of stupid, you're like Jeb funny, because Jeb just can't be funny. He's one of the Bushes, like George can be funny, and there's lots of funny in the family because they're from a funny family, but like, but Jebby doesn't have that funny, you know, he's just too square. He's kind of like Mitt, you know, a little bit, but not like that bad. You know, he's not wooden or anything. He can, like, you know, he can go both ways with that. But you know what? He's not good about the border, you know, and so I don't like that. You know, when you have a Hispanic leadership, you don't talk about giving Latinos things that are illegal. So that's wrong, Jebby. You got to, like, you know, like, if you want to give Hispanics something, give it to me. Texas. Texas and New Mexico and Arizona. Anyway, but that just kidding. I will never run for leadership. So, you know, a lot of people go, oh, Dee, we love you. You should run for office. It's like, you know what? They could have Sex in the City run for Congress. What's that? She's a lesbian, too? I don't know. Like, that's just so weird. Missed that one. Yeah. The Sex in the City character that played in that thing about having sex in the city. I don't know if she was a lesbian as the character. I didn't really watch that show anyway. But she's a liberal, and she's running for Congress. She can run for office, and people are going to take her seriously. But God forbid, you can't be a Republican conservative woman who throws around a little bit of F-bombs and run for anything except your life. You know, but the thing about immigration, you have people like Mitt Romney, and like he just like, oh, I'm for, you know, immigration reform, and then he's like, open borders are us, you know, and it's like he switches his thinking so often that we don't really know what we're getting with Mitt. So like Mitt, he may, you know, like we ask your stance on things, Mitt Romney, what is your stance on immigration? He'd be like, what do you think it should be? I mean, that's just, he needs to say that with every question. So like, what is your stance on pro-life? What do you want it to be? I'll be what you want me to be. You know, like, that's just how he is. And I think that's very, very bad. At least with Donald Trump, you know exactly where he is. He's like, you know, I'm for the fence, you know, and that's like, you know, that's called being, you know, like, you're insulting people because you're for the fence. What's insulting is like when you're for everything, you know. It's like, yeah, I'm a Mormon and I'm just for one man and one wife, you know. Like, how can you be a Mormon and be just for one man and one wife? Are you a Reformed Mormon or like, you know? So think about it. You know, he's for a lot of kids, you know, and that's kind of weird. I mean, nowadays, like, you don't see families that just keep procreating up a storm like that, unless they're Mexicans, you know, and I guess Mitt has a lot in common with some of those Mexicans that procreate on our dime. But you know what? Oh, that's racist, people. Gee, that's so racist. No, it's not. If you're going to give something for free, people are going to abuse it, you know? So they're going to procreate up a storm if you're going to pay them to do so. I mean, some people make it a living, you know, like my family did. Like I did, because, you know, that didn't want to work. Hey, what kind of free things are you going to give me now? You know, come on. Do you think I'd actually work for something if you're going to pay me to sit at home and do nothing? No, I'm going to sit there and get paid to do nothing. Like, maybe Will would go out and bust his ass and work, but, you know, I'm just a typical lazy Latina. You know, I would just be like, oh, yeah, you know, I want the fray, because that's just my culture box or whatever, you know, princess. You know, that's just like all of us have those little signs above our thing because, you know, why work if it's not going to be, you know, I worked last year and I ended up having to pay taxes. That was a real bummer. I couldn't report any of my write-offs to the Republican event or church or God. I gave a lot of money away to God. That should have been a tax write-off for sure. But no, you can't write off your money to pay God. But God wants 10%? Seriously? Now, I'm really changing the subject because you know what? I think that institutions that are exempt from paying tax need to start paying taxes. You know what? Because then maybe they would shut their pie holes when it came down to politics. Oh, you know that the Catholic Church was all for the open borders. I would be protesting for immigration reform, and that Catholic Church guy, he told me not to park on his lot. But he let all these illegals, aliens, parked on his lot, and they were holding up signs, and that pastor, or that priest, was standing there with the illegals protesting. So, you know what? If you're going to get political, and you're getting in the game of politics, priests, you should pay your taxes. You know, if I was the queen, I would start mandating that. You know, get the Pope to get in there and divvy up his free contributions. And hey, does the queen pay taxes? Because you know what? I think if you're a queen, you ought to pay taxes on all that money that you get free.
Special queen tax.
A special queen tax. Oh, that will never happen. Oh, you're such a racist-y. Oh, fuck you guys. It's Sunday, but you know what? If you don't have a sense of humor, screw you. Have a great day.